That morning, Sonia had woken up in silence, as if the entire world had lowered its voice so as not to disturb her pain. She remained sitting on the bed for a long time, with her head in her hands and her gaze lost, unable to move. No desire to look in the mirror, no desire to appear. She put on a large sweater, the gray one she wore when she needed to hide from the world, and a pair of wrinkled jeans left on the chair the night before. Her hands were shaking as she searched for her keys in her bag, and for a moment she thought about not going. But then she forced herself. That day had to be a liberation. In the car, silence kept her company. No music, no calls, just the hum of the engine and that feeling of something that was about to end. Sonia knew it would be difficult, but she had not imagined how difficult. She was closing a chapter of her life, the most important one, the one that had filled years of dreams, projects, and promises. Before continuing, subscribe to our channel and activate the bell so you don't miss any of our stories. Luca had arrived early, as always. He was the one who was on time, the one who hated waiting. But that morning he waited. With his hands buried in his jacket pockets and his gaze fixed on the ground, he looked like a statue. Every now and then he looked up at the door, in the hope and fear of seeing her appear. His heart was in his throat. He couldn't explain why he felt so nervous. After all, he was the one who proposed the divorce. But when he saw Sonia cross the threshold, something inside him broke. She was pale, thinner, with an absent look, as if every step was an effort. He didn't say hello. He couldn't find the words. Sonia also lowered her gaze and sat down next to him, leaving between them an abyss made of silences and words never said. The lawyer began to speak in a monotonous tone, illustrating the agreement point by point. Each word seemed like a blow to the heart. Division of assets, absence of children, absence of litigation. Technical and cold terms to describe the end of a love. Sonia took the pen without hesitation. She signed with a decisive, rapid gesture, like someone who knows there is nothing left to save. Then, with slightly trembling hands, she handed it to Luca. He took it, but remained still for a long moment. He looked at her signature, that handwriting he knew by heart, the same one she had used so many times to write, "I love you" to him, on post-its hanging on the refrigerator years before. Then he signed too. The sound of the pen on the paper was the only sound in the room. No one spoke, no one cried, but inside them, something shattered. Sonia stood up, slowly, trying to stay composed. She just wanted to go out, breathe fresh air, forget everything. But as soon as she took 2 steps, dizziness struck her. The floor seemed to move away. The lights became blurry. Her breathing became short and her legs gave out. Luca saw her body fold in on itself, her arms stretch out into the void in search of a hold that wasn't there. His heart stopped. "Sonia," he shouted in a broken voice, throwing himself toward her. He knelt down, lifted her delicately, as if she were made of glass. Her face was pale, her lips parted, her eyelashes trembling slightly. "Please open your eyes," she whispered, her voice full of fear. "Call an ambulance," Luca shouted, holding her close. He caressed her face, looking for a sign, a stronger breath, something that would tell him that everything was okay. "Don't do this to me. Not now." That body he had held in his arms for years, that woman he thought he had lost forever, was now there, helpless, and the fear of truly losing her crushed him like never before. In that moment, Luca understood that he would never stop loving her. At the hospital, time seemed to have stopped. Luca paced the corridor, clutching his hands, his heart pounding. He had always thought that the end of his marriage was a liberation, a necessary step. But now, seeing Sonia so fragile made him feel empty, disarmed. When the doctor came out, Luca immediately approached. "Is she okay?" The doctor nodded. "A drop in blood pressure." Luca looked at him, confused. "Why?" "The lady is pregnant. Didn't you know?" the doctor replied. For a moment, Luca couldn't speak. He leaned against the wall, feeling his legs give way. That child was his, he felt it. He tiptoed into the room. Sonia was awake, sipping water. When she saw him, she looked down. She didn't want pity. "Why didn't you tell me?" Luca asked, his voice breaking. "I found out a few days ago. I didn't know how to tell you." "This changes everything, Sonia." She shook her head. "No, Luca. It takes more than one child to put two broken people back together." He sat down next to her. "What if we weren't really broken? What if there was still something left to save?" The weeks passed. Luca began to be there, every day. He accompanied Sonia to visits, brought her food when she was too tired to cook, left her little notes with sweet words like, "Did you eat enough today?" Or, "I know you're strong, but you don't have to do everything alone." Sonia, at first, was wary. She had gotten used to relying only on herself. But slowly, she began to let go. Luca's hands on her growing belly, the way he looked at her when she didn't notice. They were little seeds that sprouted in her heart. They started talking, for real, about what had happened, what they had done wrong. She told him she had felt invisible. He confessed he had been afraid of not being enough, afraid of hurting her, and afraid of himself. The day Sonia gave birth, Luca never let go of her hand. During the hours of labor, he dried her forehead, whispered sweet words, reminded her how strong she was. And when little Julia was born and was placed on her mother's chest, Luca cried. "You did something wonderful," he told her, his voice breaking. "And I couldn't love you more than I love you right now." Sonia looked at him. She was exhausted, but there was light in her eyes. A new light. 3 years later, their house was filled with the chaos of those who really live. Julia ran around the living room with a stuffed animal in her hand. Luca tried to convince her to put on her shoes, while Sonia laughed in the kitchen preparing lunch. They still had their bad days, but they had learned to apologize, to talk to each other sincerely, to choose every day to stay. Because true love sometimes is not born in perfect moments, but in the most difficult moments. And when it survives everything, that's when it becomes eternal. Did you like this story? Leave a comment below. Thanks for watching the video till the end, and see you next story.